Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday. Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy New Year. Happy 2018. That was my rendition of Marilyn Monroe's Happy Birthday, uh, a song to then President John Fitzgerald Kennedy in the early 60s. Many of you are probably too young to remember that. I wasn't born yet, but I do remember seeing that awkward. If you've never watched the video, it's kind of awkward because Jacqueline Kennedy is actually sitting next to him, and JFK was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe at the time. But anyhow, that's how she was singing "Happy Birthday" to him for his birthday, and it is my birthday today. Yes, so happy birthday to me. I'm definitely excited that it is 2018 and it is my birthday. So, hey, happy birthday to me again. So, on that front, 2018, where's Roach? It's a good question. Where is Roach? I don't know where he is. Perhaps he's on a roof somewhere? Where's Roach? That never gets old. Anyhow, I want to do a quick rant because we're actually not gonna have uh, our regular scheduled BRAP podcast tonight because I'm going to be out celebrating my birthday, drinking beer and mixed drinks, and a couple. I'll be drinking a few pisco sours. If you've never had those, I highly suggest pisco. Pisco sours are great. It's a Peruvian drink. It's a mixed drink. If you like margaritas, chances are you're probably like pisco sour. So it's really good shit. Um, so 2018, we're 3 days into the new year, and hey, why not start off a new year in the gaming world with better way to start? What a better way to start, I should say, the new year in the gaming industry than, excuse me as I take a sip of iced coffee. What a better way to start the new year than rumors? And so now we have a rumor that a new Xbox could be dropping 2019. Imagine that, 2019. You can see it here on the window. Rumor: next Xbox console release window leaked. So this is an article that came out on Gamer Rant yesterday. Um, According to a YouTuber, Dreamcast guy, and I actually have subscribed to him. He's got about 80,000 or so subscribers. So I don't think this is a situation where I've heard some people critique this particular YouTuber. I don't think he's putting it out there to try to gain subs or anything like that. I mean, he's got about 80,000 subs. I think at this point in his YouTube career, he's not looking to clickbait anyone to try to generate some subs. And actually, he is reporting a rumor that he has heard from someone he knows, who apparently knows someone within Microsoft, and this person is said to get some leaked information in terms of the release window for the new Xbox. So, according to Dreamcast Guy, the next Xbox console is currently slated for release of 2019. Holy shit, folks, that's next year. 2019. That's next year. Now, is it feasible? Is this possible? Is it real? I mean, I am treating this as rumor, but I'm not going to say that this is completely out of the realm of possibilities. And I'll give you my reasons here shortly. Um, but if you go to gamerrant.com, you can actually check out the video here. You'll see his video here, new Xbox Now. You can check out Dreamcast Guy's video. But again, as I mentioned, guys, this is rumor. I wouldn't treat this as fact. But according to a source, Microsoft is looking at a launch window of 2019 to the successor of the Xbox One console. Um, and this would usher in the ninth generation of consoles. Now, I think what's got everybody kind of maybe up in arms or kind of like, huh? Like, wait a minute, like this can't be right. Um, is the fact that the Xbox One X just launched this past November or last November. So why would Microsoft launch a new console so soon? Essentially potentially killing off the Xbox One X. Again, I'll give you my thoughts on that. So, um, some of if you listen to the video, some of the reasoning behind this is that potentially Microsoft is afraid of the coupled with the success of the PlayStation 4. If Sony launches a PlayStation 5 in 2020, which some people seem to think that that's going to be the case, um, that Sony would take those 80 or 90 million, whatever. I say 80 or 90 million because I'm assuming at that point they'll probably be around that number in terms of installed base for the PlayStation 4. That Sony may take those individuals and roll them over to the PlayStation 5, and at that point, Microsoft's on the outside looking in terms of the next console gen. That Sony may just come in and roll in as the potential winner, if you will, for the ninth generation of consoles. Now, this will be very preemptive for Microsoft to do. It's not out of the realm of a possibility. I mean, let's go back to the time of the 360 when Microsoft did this, and it's not. I can kind of see the reasoning, I guess, behind this. Why Microsoft would probably do this. Um, I think getting a leg up on Sony is obviously something that helped with the success of the 360. And the 360 just wasn't successful in North America. I mean, it outsold, I believe, the PlayStation 3 2-1 in North America, but it actually had some success outside of the North American market globally. I believe that the Xbox 360, and I haven't looked at numbers in a long time, probably that mid 80, close to 90 million total install base for last console gen. Although, look, we all know about the 360, its issues. We know about Red Ring of Death. Where's Roach? I actually, you know what? I was actually one of the lucky ones. I never had a 360 Red Ring. Can you believe that? But I did have many friends that had issues. I had a couple of friends that went to like 3 or 4 Red Rings, and actually, I had a buddy who was actually made a business out of it. He would actually fix broken 360s that had red ring, believe it or not. So, all right. So, quickly want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. We have Chief Tomei, we have Daniel B. Gentlemen, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. Much appreciated. Remember, everyone, to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Fallout Duty says Xbox 360 got outsold by PlayStation 3. Yeah, I believe globally it's probably true, but for the most part, um, for majority of the console gen, the 360 outsold PlayStation 3 and was the preferred platform to develop for by third-party developers. If you may remember, third-party developers typically would develop games on the 360 first, port them over to the PlayStation 3. We all know the PlayStation 3 is the more powerful console, although some developers would swear that the 360 was on par or could do things better than the PlayStation 3. But the PlayStation 3 had its challenges in terms of developing. It wasn't an easy console to develop for, which explains the route that Sony took this console gen with the design of the PlayStation 4. But so this isn't anything new, folks. If Microsoft decides to go ahead and greenlight, and look, I shouldn't say go ahead and greenlight. They've already greenlight the new Xbox. Albert Pinello came back out. I think it was recently, and it said that, hey, with regard to the Xbox One X, that console was actually greenlit back in 2012. It's not uncommon for manufacturers to greenlight those new consoles early on, years before they're released, as they look to figure out the architecture, price parts, things of that nature. So I got to be honest with you. Here are my thoughts. I don't. I I'm not going to say for sure that Microsoft's going to release a new console in 2019 next year. But if they did, it would not surprise me, given that they've done this before. They may feel that, you know what, if we can get the leg up on Sony before the Sony releases the PlayStation 5, maybe we can get things back in our favor. We can be that market leader like we were with the 360. And so that's why I'm not saying that this is out of the realm of possibility. I don't necessarily know or think that it's going to happen, but you got to believe that Sony is looking at the PS5, and I forget what Mark Cerny said. Mark Cerny said something to the effect of 4K console gaming, you need at least, I think it was 10 or 12 teraflops, something to that effect, for a console. And that would be double the power of the Xbox One X. And I hear people talking about 4K adoption rates, yada yada yada. I think we're in North America. I think I think globally the last time I looked, at least, I don't know what it is after. Okay, he said 8 teraflops. I thought it was higher than that, but certainly may have said 8 teraflops. So Fall of Duty says 8 teraflops is what Mark Cerny said. Yes, 4K TVs are getting cheap now. You got to remember something though. I always hear people say 4K TVs are always getting cheap. Or getting cheaper now. This is true, but you got to remember that's not 4K with HDR that's getting cheap. I mean, they are getting cheaper, um, but for all intents and purposes, the cheapest 4K TVs are going to be the ones without HDR, which is what you really want if you're buying or investing in an Xbox One X or a PlayStation 4 Pro. On the flip side thing with the 4K TVs are getting cheaper. Not everyone's buying them just because they're cheaper. You got to remember, people bought 1080p TVs recently when they were cheaper, upgrading from their 720 sets. And you may say to yourself, well, why would somebody do that? Why wouldn't they go to 4K? Why would they wait? A lot of that has to do with available content. Um, Fallout. That's a great fucking deal, man. $400, steal. Um, in 4K, you look at the 4K. You look at penetration with 4K TV sets in U.S. households. I think by next year or this year, end of this year, it's going to be about 33% of U.S. households will have a 4K TV by end of 2018 this year. So, um, yes, Daniel, that's right. Or if you get a cheaper TV, you'll get weaker HDR. You got to also think about like for me, like I got a TCL, picked it up for $600 at Best Buy, 55-inch HDR. It's a 10-bit panel. Would love to have a 12-bit panel, more colors, but hey, I'll take the 10-bit panel. Kind of middle of the road, but hey, for $600 for the TV that I got, I mean the black levels, the contrast ratios on this TV are fantastic, fantastic. If you're looking for a relatively inexpensive, good TV, let me tell you, folks, I highly recommend the TCL. Yes, Fall of Duty TCL does have good HDR. I can speak just based on my own experiences. It's really good. Although I'll say this, I was also I'm still impressed with my plasma TV in terms of black levels, contrast ratio. With my I got an ST50 Panasonic. I think it was like the last year that second to last year that Panasonic's made plasmas. But that ST50 is a beast. And then I also have a $2,000 LCD or LED Samsung LED TV calibrated, which looks really good. Has 120 hertz refresh rate. It's pretty sick. Um, but yes, TCLs are great TVs. I have one. I'm very happy with it, so I would highly recommend it. Anyhow, that's my TV rant. So, um, if you can't tell, I've had a lot of coffee already this morning. It's my birthday. I'm 41. I gotta keep the energy going so I can party later. Where's Roach? Um, so I would surprise it would surprise me if Microsoft did this. I've heard people say, well, they're not going to do it because they're not going to totally slap people in the face who bought an Xbox One X. However, we've heard Phil Spencer talk a lot about being able to take your library with you from previous generations, and we've seen Microsoft do things that allow that backwards compatibility. We've seen Game Pass, and being able to download games using Game Pass as opposed to streaming, which I think is a superior way service compared to PS Now. And Fallout Duty, thank you, man, for the birthday wishes. Um, Fallout Duty. Okay, so you want to know if I have a? By the way, I love how interactive this live chat is when I do these rants. You want to know if I have a Pro? Should I get an X? Um, I if you, it's a great question. If you don't have an Xbox right now, an Xbox One, then I would say yes, get an X. If you're really into 4K console gaming, then I would say yes, get an X. Um, I have prior to me picking up an Xbox One X, I had an Xbox One launch console. Then I had the S. I have a PlayStation 4, and I've always pretty much usually played multiplats on PlayStation 4 because I typically we get 1080p resolution, blah blah blah. Most multiplats, if they're enhanced, I'm playing on the Xbox One X. So, um, you know what, folks? Give me just a sec, and I apologize. I need to step away for just 1 second. I have a dog that needs to go out. So, great timing, dog. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. And I apologize for that, guys. Hey, you know what? You never know what you're gonna get when you listen to BRAP. Strange things happen here sometimes, but it's great. It makes for great entertainment. So, yeah, Fall of Duty. I'm not. I think it just depends. I think if you're really into um, 4K gaming, then sure, why not? I mean, if you have the means to do it, to spend $500 on a console, yeah, why not? I'll say this much: the games look great. Um, yeah, the library's pretty nice of games, although they're older games that have been enhanced. Although maybe some of those games you haven't played, but um, Daniel B says my dog is fast. No, she's actually still outside right now. I'll have to get her here in a sec. Um, and it's cold as shit outside too, by the way. So bless your little heart for going out there and doing what you need to do. Considering how freezing it is, it's been like 11 degrees with a wind chill of like 2. So, um, so this wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft comes out in 2019 and they release a new Xbox console. It wouldn't surprise me. The precedent is there for them to do that because they did it with the 360. You got to remember, when the 360 came out, the OG Xbox was essentially 4 years old, and that was it. They were done with it. They moved on. They wanted to beat Sony to the punch, and they did, and it worked out for them, despite the issues with the Red Ring of Death. Which, hey, you know what? They owned up to it. Uh, they stepped up and known that issue. Um, some of the live chat's not happy with the title. It's clickbait, man. Come on, everyone's doing it. He says, "Yo, Microsoft is not effing afraid of PlayStation 5. It's going to kill Sony for killing Microsoft." Or I don't know what he's trying to say. Anyhow, um, but the afraid part is according to inside information that relates to the rumor that we're speaking about. So if my so Microsoft, again, they've done this before. It's worked for them. So I think if they do release a new console, and let's say it's 10 teraflops or whatever the case is, right? Um, I, I still get you're not going to be left behind. I mean, we've heard them talk about kind of that cell phone model. Although I don't think they're going to go full Apple mode when it comes to console gaming. I don't think either Sony or Microsoft will. Um, but I think there's something to be said for um, not leaving any gamer behind, which Phil Spencer has mentioned, being able to kind of carry your library, take your library anywhere you can go in games, new releases or games kind of scaling to whatever specific platform that you game on. And so I think if something drops in 2019, again, considering the architecture, considering um, the direction Microsoft is taking in terms of being able to carry your library and giving you the option to pick whatever specific platform you want to experience your library on, I don't see that changing. And therefore, I don't see them. I could see this happening, and I've heard people say, "Oh, they're going to alienate, Xbox One gamers or Xbox One X gamers." It's kind of a slap to the face. I don't necessarily agree with that because it's only a slap to the face if you can only play newer content on the new console. Then what you've done is, yes, you have totally slapped the face of gamers who went out and spent $500 on a new console, an Xbox One X, and now you're basically fracturing the base of the Xbox One community or Xbox community by creating the haves and have-nots. But I don't see them doing that, and I think that that is the only way that they would um, that they would be kind of like that middle finger and fu to those folks who purchase an Xbox One X if they started releasing content that wasn't playable or accessible on the Xbox One X. I do think that the people though who potentially own the Xbox One S, I think in this situation, those folks would probably be the ones kind of on the outside looking in, especially if you consider if developers or specifically Microsoft start taking advantage of the hardware of a new Xbox One. I could potentially see the Xbox One, so I know Xbox One S owners kind of on the outside looking in. But then you're looking at a situation where um, those folks are probably 2 years into owning an Xbox One S, but they could maybe perhaps they take the route of PC and we start seeing those PC options, where you could scale games down based on platform types, because we know with PC there's no uniformed, platform. You have a variety of different machines that, have different video cards and CPUs and whatnot, and maybe you start seeing something like that with a new release of an Xbox One or I keep saying Xbox One, but Xbox console in 2019. So we'll see. I mean, this is going to be interesting how this plays out. I'm not saying that this rumor is complete bullshit because the precedent is there for Microsoft to do this. Although I'm kind of taking that wait and see approach to see if Microsoft is going to do this or not. So Fuzzy Belvedere again, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Ryan Landis, good to see you in the live chat. He says Microsoft may launch new gaming PCs with the Xbox brand, including brand Surface tablets. That's an interesting point. I for one, I don't see them. I don't see them, Ryan, launching Xbox One gaming PCs. Um, I do see them. I do see the Xbox uh, becoming more like kind of what Steam tried to do with the Steam boxes. I guess it's probably the best way to do it. And so that's why I'm saying I don't think if this is 2019, I don't think Sega was run by an idiot. Fall of Duty that is that's a little bit harsh. I wouldn't say the folks at Sega were complete idiots, but I will say they made they made some big mistakes after the Sega Genesis, and this is kind of, so I've been gaming for like 35 years, folks, 36 years actually now, Actually, is it 36 or 37? 37 years, if I'm being, yeah, 37 years I've been gaming for. Um, so if some of you guys don't remember, but when Sega was coming off the success of the Genesis, and they came out at E3 and announced the Sega Saturn. But what was unique about their announcement with the Sega Saturn is they came out and they said, "Okay, folks, Sega Saturn, it's going to be $399, and it's on retail shelves today." And so at this point, the press had not received any kits, had not had hands-on with the Saturn, and Sony was just getting ready to release the PlayStation console, and Sony, who is infamous for some of the best mic drop moments at E3, came out and they said, and you can actually Google this, you'll see the video, and this is E3 1995, I think it was. They come out on stage, and at the time E3 wasn't the spectacle it is today, 1995. Um, it wasn't the spectacle it was in 19 that is today, and it looks like it took place in a hotel conference room. Gentleman from Sony comes out after Sony heard the price point for the Saturn, and they came out. Sony says PlayStation $299 and left, and that was it. Yep, a Fall of Duty. He's like, yeah, you got a Fall of Duty, so you probably seen it. So, so that was it. That and the fact that it was hard to develop for too. That was another problem with not the Dreamcast, but the Saturn. So, um, OBJ, I can never pronounce your name. Is it Obajadin? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'll go with OBJ. So OBJ said he was thinking about getting the X, but not now. Well, again, OBJ, this is rumor. And look, I got an X. If a new Xbox One came out, would I upgrade? Probably, because that's just me. I'm a hardcore gamer. I would just trade in my Xbox One X. Or I could wait. I could wait and maybe see if they for the price of the newer one to come down. But look, I mean, you know, I think I don't think the gap or the power gap between the Xbox One X and presumably this new console, if it's true, comes out. I don't think it's going to be as wide as the Xbox One. But maybe it is. Who knows? We'll if it does come out, I guess we'll find out. We'll see. Um, but again, again, guys, this doesn't surprise me if this is true. If we see Microsoft come out of E3 and say, hey, you know what? 2019, we're putting out a new Xbox. This continues our evolution of creating platforms where gamers can choose the kind of gaming experiences they want. We're giving you guys options. I could see that. I could see it happening. Um, and again, I could say this that I see it happening because I don't think Microsoft would create a situation where if they came out with a new console in 2019 that they would that it would be one where it would just completely cut everyone else off. I think it's going to be a situation of, hey, here's another console product for us from us. This one, we have the Xbox One X. If you like that, that's a 6 teraflop console. Now we have a 10 teraflop option that can do native 4K 60 frames. If you want that kind of a gaming experience, we have that for you, and we're going to release it for you. Um, and that to me makes sense. I can see that without killing the Xbox One X, without leaving anyone behind. You're just giving gamers a new platform to choose. If they want that option, you're giving them a new option to experience games at a higher resolution, higher frames per second. Again, I've been saying this for a long time. I see Microsoft really becoming, really kind of doing what Steam tried to do or wanted to do with the Steam machines, and I see Microsoft kind of integrating some of those PC features we see in PC gaming with some of the visual options based on your hardware and giving players more control over how they run their um, their software. But Fall of Duty just brought up a great point. The One X, the Xbox One X main problem is the CPU. That's true, and that actually brings up an interesting question. How does that work? If what does that mean for the newer console? But I think that's right. I mean, it's people say, oh, it's not a Jaguar. No, it's pretty much a Jaguar variant. They're not calling it a Jaguar, but it's a variant of a Jaguar. So it's a little more powerful. But yes, in order to keep the price of that console down, they went with a cheaper CPU. So Ryan Landis says, I have a great idea. Instead of new hardware in 2018, when do they come out with new games? Well, they are coming out new games next year. Not new franchises, but new releases of franchises. But that's a whole nother conversation of whether or not, um, they need to come out with new franchises, uh, new characters, whatnot. And by the way, guys, if you haven't listened to Loot Chest Radio, please, 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 please go to Twitter, go to @Loot Chest Radio, follow us. It's myself, I'm a co-host, and it's myself, Nate, Saltiest Gaming, um, All Day Digital, Kevin, and Jay Fonzarelli. Jay Fonzarelli is the creator and co-host of Loot Chest Radio. Come on, guys, definitely check us out. We had a great conversation, by the way, on really we had a pretty spirited debate on Halo and what Microsoft should do with that franchise, and the World Health Organization's labeling of gaming addiction. So if you haven't checked out at Loot Chess Radio, definitely check us out. Thank you guys. Thank you, Fuzzy Belvedere says Luke. Good podcast, LCR. Thank you, appreciate it. Ryan Landis says Loot Chess Radio is a great show. It is. It is wonderful. I mean, I got to be honest with you. A lot of us are. Everyone on that show is a passionate gamer, and we all don't necessarily hold the same points of view. So if you and look, the great thing about LCR is that we may not have the agree on a lot of things, but we're able to have a civil discord. And I think a lot of the times that's missing with a lot of these podcasts. It's it turns into a flame fest and people calling names. And look, I think that's the issue in this country today. We can all have differences, but we should be able to have civil discord, and that's lacking these days. So thank you guys for the support, Loot Chest. If you haven't subscribed yet, you can find Loot Chest Radio at iTunes, on Stitch, and on YouTube as well. So definitely check it out. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, we'll see. We'll find out at E3 whether or not this game is going to, or this console is actually going to be a thing. It's going to release. So time will tell, as they say. Time will tell. So, well, guys, that is my quick rant for today. I wanted to do a quick birthday rant. There's 24 people watching now, so thank you, folks, for taking time out of your busy day to sit down and hear this rant. And hey, hit that like button and subscribe as well. Everyone in the live chat, tell everyone about Basement Radio Arcade. Tell everyone about Loot Chest Radio. Get the word out. We're obviously, I mean, if most of you guys have been listening to Basement Radio for a long time now, look, um, we don't tell you what you want to hear. We tell you what you need to hear, and that's kind of how I've always approached this show. You guys know that I'm vocal. I'm anti-fanboy. I can't stand fanboys. I despise fanboy podcasts. I think fanboys are toxic. They promote anti-consumer behavior. I think a lot of these fanboy podcasts do the same. They promote media conspiracies and they champion anti-consumer behavior. And you know what? That's not cool because a lot of us spend a lot of our hard-earned money on this hobby that we love so much. And it's look, it's bullshit. A lot of these guys are monetizing um, and taking advantage of people who are fanboys or feel like they need purchase validation Just look, just enjoy gaming. Whatever platform you enjoy, that's cool. Um, but don't make these guys any richer by paying them any attention because they're taking advantage of you. Um, Ahmed says fanboy equals clanboy. That's funny. Um, so yeah, I mean, just there's other podcasts out there that are insightful. Um, that give you honest, some just look real opinions on things gaming. And look, you don't have to agree with them. It's fine. And you know what? I always say this. It's okay to listen to people you don't agree with because you never know. You may learn something new. And always challenge things that you believe in because sometimes you'll find out, hey, you know what? Actually, that's not how it is or what I thought it was. Um, and it's a great way to kind of expand one's horizons, if you will, especially with gaming. It's the reason why I own three consoles. I don't want to miss out on gaming experiences and different games that come out. That's why I can never be somebody who um, is console specific because there's so much great content on all three platforms. And it's funny because someone said to me, "Well, what console do you prefer?" And I'm like, "Well, it really depends on the time of the day or the year or the month of the year." And it does. It really does. Right now, I've been primarily gaming on my Xbox One X um, and the Nintendo Switch. Not so much on the PlayStation 4 as much. Although something tells me probably the next couple weeks or so, I'll be back on the PlayStation 4. I need to get I actually need to play the new Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Lands DLC. And then, as we all know, God of War is coming out, so I'll be back on the PlayStation 4 as soon as some of those games start releasing. So, yeah, that's just how I game. I mean, I don't, I go wherever the games go, and it's funny because I get people like when I say this to people, sometimes they don't understand that concept, but that's what I do. I go where the games are. So, Daniel, yes, there will not be a show this week at all. Although there could be another rant. Doesn't mean just because we don't have our weekly scheduled podcast doesn't mean that I won't drop another rant this week. That could be coming as well. So. Um, but anyways, hey, everyone in the live chat, Happy New Year. I want to wish each and every one of you a happy and prosperous New Year's to you, to your families. And I just want to thank everyone in the live chat who comes out every week to, to support us. And look, we had a great 2017, and we couldn't have done it without you guys and your continued support. So that really means a lot to us. Really, thank you so much. Look, but we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal this year. So please tell your friends about us. You know, tell your neighbors. Tell anyone. But seriously, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you can help us get us there, we would certainly appreciate that as well. Um, But yeah, we'll be back next week with our regular scheduled BRAP podcast. Myself, B Money, Eric Jackson, Mr. Megadeth, and other than that, everyone, thank you again for popping in. Please leave comments in the comment section below, and again, hey, hit that bell. If you haven't hit that bell button, I will give you alerts of when new content comes up on BRAP. And also, guys, remember to check out Loot Chess Radio. Definitely check that out too. I've been having a blast with that podcast. Jay Fonzarelli does a great job, by the way, post production with the podcast. It really sounds like a radio show. It's really cool. So it has some really cool production values, and we'll be getting some industry guests on that show shortly too. So, Ludar, good morning from San Francisco, my friend. Thank you for catching the tail end of this rap rant, but you can check the rest later. So, everyone, again, Happy New Year. We'll be back next week at our regular scheduled time, which is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, tell everyone about BRAP. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. And on that note, everyone have a great day. We'll catch you guys next time. Remember, enjoy playing video games. Have fun doing so because that is what gaming is all about. Peace.